Good afternoon. If you can hear me okay, you can see me all right, put it into the chat, let me know. Okay. Just reached work. Good to jump onto the call when you just reached work there. Best time. Thank you for that. Hey Dominic, hey BL, hey Habib, Babli, Prog. All right. So 12:30, in about just under 30 minutes time, we have the RBA with their interest rate decision, the cash rate. As we were saying yesterday, we are looking at it possibly holding, or most likely holding, at that 4.1%. I'm not looking at any big surprises here. They did hold it at 4. No, in August, they were expecting a 25 basis point rate hike, held at 4.1%. In July as well, they held at 4.1%. So I'm thinking that it's likely to stay at 4.1% this time round. Okay, and as if they do hold it at 4.1%, the focus will shift to the RBA statement later when that's released, and we'll look into that together. One thing I want to show you, so now we got a couple of minutes. I just want to prep for the news. On the 1st of August, you can see that yesterday we were talking about the Aussie dollar pushing to the downside, breaking through. Once it broke through, yes, Friday's low point, and that's a trade running already. So if you have that trade running, well done, fantastic. I do anticipate that we're likely to see this continue to the downside towards that support level of 3678, 0.36, no, 0.6378. Dyslexic Tuesday, what is it? Dyslexic Tuesday for me today, right? So I'm looking at it possibly coming down towards the support of 0.6378. All right, so I'll move this to the side for now and also show you that, as we were highlighting yesterday as well, on the 1st of August, when the RBA held rates, we actually saw that price went from, this was the news decision at 12, just under 0.67, and then within the next 1-2 couple of hours, it went about good 60 something, almost 70 pips to the downside, right, all the way to 4 p.m. So that was a move on the 1st of August. Again, on the 4th of July, go to that. Let's see what happened the last time, other time that they held rates, the 4th of July at 12, right? So again, at that same time, move that line one candle before. At that same time, we saw a drop of about 30 something pips before it rebounded. But the difference here is that the previous trend on the Aussie dollar was to the upside. So when they held rates, we actually saw a brief spike down for continuation back up again. Very slightly different to what we saw on the 1st of August, where the Aussie dollar was actually pushing down. We saw a brief push resisted by that resistance level of 0.6725, and then a continuation to the downside. So the previous trend does come in as one of a major factor of a consideration when you are looking at a news event that might not change. There might not be a difference in the data. Okay, and then on the 6th of June, let's look at it again. What happened on the 6th of June? Point right there. That's the 12 o'clock timing. Okay, so this was the news one candle before. they rose, right? Rates rose from a 3.85 to a 4.1%, a good 25 basis point rate hike on the 6th of June. So we actually saw, because of a rate hike, we saw the Aussie dollar push to the upside over the next couple of hours, almost a 70 pip move to the upside. And you will notice that it was also a continuation. And draw a straight line. Let me draw a better line there. Right? It pushed up, had a brief retrace, and a continuation to the upside. So things to think about when you are looking at a news event, coming back to the present, is not just the news event, which we know is the RBA cash rate decision. We're going to be thinking about the trend or the previous trend. And then also we're thinking of the key levels in terms of your support slash resistance levels. All right, that is when we think about the entry. Right, when we think about the entry, we're looking at those factors, and then when you look at your exit, you're looking at your previous range, right? So we saw the last time round, at this point it moved a good 70 pips. Where was it? Right, we saw a good, what was it, well, 70, almost 80, 70 to 80 pips to the downside, right? And then that one before that, we saw a good 30 something pips, a good 60, 70 pips as well. So we're looking at a range of between 30 to 60 or 70 pips. Okay, so the previous range in terms of the volatility, we're looking at anywhere from 30 to, type it up properly, to about a 70 pip range or movement, right? The previous move, 30, 70 pips. And then also you want to be considering your support slash resistance levels. So in this case, now looking at the Aussie dollar again, based on where it is right now, a move down towards that support level would be about 50 pips, right? At the current point, in the next 20 minutes, if it stays right at this level, a move down towards support will be about 50 pips, which would be within our range of the previous movement, 30 to 70 pips. It would come down to a support level. Okay, so that would actually fit quite nicely if we see no change in the rates from the RBA. If we see the RBA maintain its current tone in terms of their plans for further rate decisions, could actually see this move. And this could be a relatively, I don't want to say straightforward, but relatively, lack of a better word, relatively straightforward trade that you could be looking at, right? Breaking, let's just even be safer, say about 6420. Take profit would be a good 40 pips. Stop loss, you would keep it tight, no more than 20 pips, 1 to 2 to the downside for the Aussie dollar. Hey Jimmy, how are you doing? And guys, if you are watching this, do help me out. Click that like button, please. That would help massively. All right, so looking at that move with the RBA rate decision. So far, so good. Any questions, put it into the chat. Let me know. One other thing to think about is the questions that a lot of people ask is, hey, if I'm looking at the Aussie dollar, can I look at the Aussie yen? Possibly, but it is coming down. It could come down towards that support level. So I'm not looking at that. The Aussie Kiwi, right? Aussie dollar dropping, could see the Aussie Kiwi drop. We do have the mid-range there at 108, so that could come down to this point. But there are a couple of levels before that. So I do tend to prefer to focus a bit more on the Aussie dollar. Makes sense so far? do let me know. And while we are waiting for the news, just remember that any information, contacts, or opinions which are expressed in this session is solely used for educational purpose. It does not constitute investment advice and or consultation on how a client should trade or how a trader itself should trade. So please, I am looking at these trades, sharing with you my points of view. If you do jump into any of the trades, normal disclaimer still applies, right? Please do your own due diligence before you get into trades. You can see now with 15 minutes to go, the Aussie dollar is slowly coming to the downside. Kiwi dollar may also move with the Aussie. That's a good point there, BL. Right, Kiwi dollar already well into our move lower. Right, it's already so broke through that previous low from Friday, and it's well in. So I would keep it a little bit simpler this time round. I would say let's just focus on the Aussie dollar, looking at that push. One thing to consider is that you might even, some of you who are a little bit more risk skeptic might be thinking of entering a trade before the news event. Not the best idea, but something that you could consider as well. 6420, 20 pip stop, 40 pip take is reasonable. Then the next question you would have is what happens if it breaks this support level? Hey Jamil, good morning, how you doing? Then looking at H4 time frame, I'm looking at very messy chart. Hang on. Side. Look at that. We have a midpoint there. That maybe an interim level, but I don't really have to there. Okay. So again, back to the one time frame. Now looking at this. No, I am moving the charts around a bit too fanatically, but okay, so we are looking at this. If the Aussie dollar does break through that support level, could also, if some of you are watching this after the news event, could be looking at it breaking the support 6365 stop loss, a good 25 pips. Take profit could go to 90, right? Almost 90 pips to the downside. You could also be looking at a interim level of 6330. Yeah, I would even be able to do a 20 pip on this or a good 40 pip take, a 1:2, or even push it down all the way. Depends on how the price or how the Aussie dollar moves from here. Okay, makes sense so far. This will be a short and sharp session, by the way, so just to let you guys know, what we'll do is look at the news when it gets released. Oh, now we're planning before the news event. When the news event gets released, look at how price moves, do a quick analysis of the price movement, then we'll jump off from there. We do still have the 3 p.m. Daily market analysis that will continue on. So you're here, but I'll also see you at 3 p.m. as well. All right. So now we're waiting. Can also look at a Bollinger. It is slightly outside, but that's a news event coming up, so that's fine. Some of you might be thinking of an RSI. Right, it's well into that oversold region, but despite it being in that oversold region, it could still continue to the downside. So I wouldn't be buying just because it's oversold region. It could bounce back up a little bit before turning back down, but we'll see how that goes. I do anticipate that we're most likely going to see it continue down. Right, if it bounces, then we'll do an update of that. Okay. Any questions? Any questions? Let me know. RBA rate position ending in Oh no, not 20. In about less than 50. All right. So at this point, I just want to do a quick reminder again is that if you have not already, do check out the brokerage equity at a short advertisement. So that's my own version of a YouTube ad that works. So now, main thing was that was a YouTube ad you could not skip. How's everyone going? Anyone trading the Aussie dollar today or trading the news together with me? Oh, let me know. Many of you would be thinking, what do I do? Um, how does it work? What I do on a daily basis, cameras right now. But what I would normally do, news comes out, I'll sit there, I'll wait for it, go work on something else on my computer on this side. Back to this side, I have a question there is what time frame do you trade with? Right now, I'm looking at it on the H1 time frame. When the news gets released, then we can switch to the M50. I don't think this news event is suitable for M1 or M5. I think the lowest I'll go for this Aussie RBA rate position. You can see that it's trying to break lower right now. So that we have to start to look. 10 minutes to the news. It is coming close. There is a chance, or I am seriously considering to get in before the news. Something could look at. Taking on a bit of risk. Good morning, Ahmed. How are you doing? You're well? Got 9 minutes to the news. Just pretty sure most of you have already, but Discord channel there. Haven't do join 420 downside. MT4 open as well, so preparing for that possible. So I've been sharing a Discord group about US yen as well, about how it's been breaking above, breaking out of that consolidation and upside. Might see a bit of a retrace before But I'll tell you more. Before I start rambling on and repeat everything or preempt everything I was going to say, or just focus on the Aussie for now. One time frame. And 15. Looking for this to break. Might break, come back up a little bit before turning down, but I'm more anticipating to the downside. Yeah, I should have started this about 57 more minutes to the release. Any new viewers? Anyone who's new to the session? Let me know. I think most names are from the community. But if you are watching quietly, drop a message. It's sitting right there. 5 minutes, 5.5 minutes spent. 1 minute time frame. Come down, find a bit of a equal low there. While it's bouncing back up a little bit. Might bounce back up a little or turning back down. If it does shoot up, then we'll take call time on it, wait for it to test that resistance before turning back down again. I have had a lot of questions and people asking about how I trade, what I do on a day-to-day basis. This is it. This is it. Just there, watching the charts, watching the price move, waiting for news events, working on other things as well. It could, not ruling out the chance that it could be a non-event, a bit unlikely. Good. Look, it found the equal low, it's bouncing back up. It's on a 1 minute time. Could push up before turning back down. Sitting right. Looks like it's a big move, but minded. That's only 5 pips. 1 minute time frame, it looks massive, but it's only 5 pips. 4 minutes to the news event. Aussie dollar turning down slightly. 3 minutes. How interesting would it be? Price ruling out the chance of a surprise rate cut. Elimination of possibly. Right, not going to see a rate cut. Most likely going to see a hold at 4.1, but how big of a surprise would it go to 4.35? 5 basis points. Say never, but 3 minutes. Here the Ahmed says, for me, expected up move for the Aussie dollar. I would not rule out an up, but I don't think it will be a sustained up. Right? It's found that low there. Even if it comes up, I don't think it could do 40, maybe 40, but I don't think it'll go past that four turned level 4-6. Definite possibly, but that. Even if it does shoot up, then immediately I'll be thinking it does shoot up for places down again. Double bottom on very tight. Sounds terrible. Very tight double bottom. A bit more so on the 5-minute, 1 minute to the news. Leave that running and goes. 26. Five. Okay, here we go. News is going to be dollar pushing lower. Aussie dollar dropping, so that's moving as planned. So trade got triggered to get in. Bouncing 4.1% held. Not the mid statement. Hold cash rate at 4.1. Interest rates established. Inflation has passed its. That's interesting. Inflation has passed its. Show the rise, show the decline. Still too high for and yet for some time. Okay. Below trend growth. Great news. Returning inflation. Take time. We know that. That significant uncertainties outlook. Further tightening may require. That's the same thing they said. Okay, so the only difference is that that line shows that it has peaked. Back to this, you can see that bouncing back up on Aussie. Came down, grabbed a little bit of that gap there, pushing back up now. A 5 and 15, that pushing higher. That Ahmed was saying that it's going to go higher. It is moving up now. So now the question is, how much higher is it going to go? Much higher is it going to go? Is it going to come to stop loss here at 6440 or 6445? Or is it going to get up to that resistance of 645? Nothing much. Yeah, Friday, Nuanco, nothing much on the news. No big surprise here at 4.1. In terms of the statement, no big surprises as well. So seeing some volatility, slight volatility. Overall, it's only been a 13 pip move. Still doing its fluctuation. It's some time push either direction. That's right. Came out as expected that the RBA holds rates at 4.1%. And if you are on the session, do help me out. Click that like button, thumbs up button. Many of you watching, not many clicking. Do help me out. Slowly. Oh. No, no, not much movement at all. It is the Aussie dollar, it is the RBA. Plus, there is no surprise. So it's not a big move, right? I anticipate that, as we have been saying, looks like it could continue down, will take some time. Remember that, take that way. Remember that for, what was that? August, in a bit, you see that in the first hour, we had a bit of a push up and down, right? With not a big price movement. Next hour sat there before it continued slowly through the hours to hit that 90 pip or 80, 90 pip to the downside. So it will take time as it pushes lower. So a bit of patience could happen. You're monitoring that as it starts to look a little bit similar to what we saw in August. Down, bounce back up a bit. Apart from this news today, we do have a bunch of PMI numbers to be released. Oh, morning. And not much else. CP markets yesterday got super sleep. Right? And then tomorrow night, you have the CAD, the Bank of Canada, where their rates decision staying at 5%. It might be another sleep session again. We'll most likely do a session tomorrow. See how it goes. Aussie dollar still running. Still doing that. Again, looks like it might push up a bit, might try and push up a little bit again before possibly turning back down. Patience is crucial. Just checking, checking the stream, I realized that it's quite laggy in terms of how the price cut, and it doesn't really work very well if we're exact live trade for different. The question there was, by seller, any indicators you recommend for forex trading? I do, and I do a combination of indicators. You want to think about indicators, not just as one good silver bullet that's going to solve all your problems. That would be nice, but not always, not ever that's going to happen. Have a combination, look at oscillators in combination with some sentiment indicators. What I do for myself is I do have the MACD. I look at MACD, I tweak that. I look at the Bollinger Bands. And for the RSI, I do, and stochastics, between the RSI and stochastics, I will tweak that on, or turn that on as and when. It is not a mainstay on my charts, right? As you see that on the Bollinger Band as well, I do turn it on and open my Bollinger Band here. I do turn it on and off as I come across or as I require. Right? It's bouncing off. That's equal low. That's annoying thing. Bouncing. So equal low there. Grab liquidity, bouncing back up. Time. So long as it stays below this level, and draw directly. Right, as long as it stays below this level, I'm okay. If it goes past this point, then I'll get out. So yes, Ella, I would say that indicator wise, I look at the RSI or stochastics when I need it. I look at the Bollinger Bands and I look at the MACD. Most importantly will be to properly define the trend and also your support resistance. I think just the trend and support resistance is going to be sufficient. Yes, indicators do give you a bit more information, but trend and support resistance do wonders already. Properly find trend and support resistance wonders. Okay. So if you haven't already, do make sure you jump onto the Discord channel, because what I think I will do is I'll let that run and we'll end the session here. I'll let this run and we'll update you guys on Discord, because I'm running out of things to ramble on about and price is moving very slowly. So I hope you enjoyed the session. I hope you found it useful and informative. Do help me out. Click that like button. And if you haven't, click the subscribe button as well. And I'll see you all on Discord. And also at 3 p.m. GMT plus 8 later for the daily market analysis. Take care now. Bye bye.